Good morning. This is Kelloland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
The investigation into allegations involving a Mitchell baseball team is complete. Earlier this month, Post-18's varsity season was terminated.
South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley says the report has been forwarded to the Pennington County State's Attorney's Office. The primary acts are alleged to have happened in that county.
Obviously, this is an important matter. It's a sensitive matter because it involves juveniles. So it's important to recognize that the individuals involved are presumed innocent at this stage.
The Pennington County State's Attorney's Office says the allegations involve sexual assault. A man wanted in connection with a kidnapping and robbery was part of an incident at a gas station in central Sioux Falls Wednesday. Police say as they were responding to a reported assault, they realized the suspect was wanted for a separate case involving kidnapping as well as robbery. The alleged victim gave officers a description of the car. Police later spotted the vehicle near downtown and followed it until it pulled into a gas station.
Authorities say the suspect was hiding in the trunk of the car. He was having a medical issue and went to the hospital. Officers say they found a small amount of meth in the vehicle. One man is dead following a car crash 5 miles south of Lead Wednesday afternoon. Authorities say a motorcycle was driving north when the driver did not slow down on a curve, causing the motorcycle to fall on its side. The driver became separated from the motorcycle and slid under a pickup driving south.
The 21-year-old motorcycle driver sustained deadly injuries. The 63-year-old driver of the pickup was not injured. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is investigating the crash.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning. As we look at our weather picture today, pretty quiet for most of Kelloland. The morning satellite map reflecting that trend here so far as we have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will likely be back in the 80s this afternoon. And for most of us, it'll be dry going into the weekend. We could see a couple of things, though, changing tomorrow. Highs this afternoon at 87 in Winter, 85 Valentine, 77 over in Custer, pretty pleasant, and 85 in Mobridge. That's a quick look at weather. We'll get into the details of the hotter conditions for next week coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. The proposed budget plan for 2024 was unveiled at Carnegie Hall in front of City Council and other members of the city.
The proposed budget for Sioux Falls of $790 million will provide funds to various city organizations and projects across the city. Mayor Paul Tenhaken says there will also be funds allocated toward hiring more employees with the city.
We're going to be investing some money into a recruitment effort and campaign to get people to think about the city as an employer of choice. We are a great employer, a great place to work, but we need to tell our story a little bit better. In a market where you have 1.7, 1.8 unemployment, it's competitive. And so I'm excited about that.
Budget hearings will begin August 2nd and conclude September 12th. Following years of delays caused by COVID and high inflation, families in Canton are on track to get a new pool.
The City Commission this week approved bids to build a $3.9 million pool after the old one was torn down 2 years ago. Backers of the pool scaled back some features of the pool, including one less swimming lane to make the project more affordable.
It is a step that we've always tried to get to. We're there now. Now we can work on getting it finished.
The hope is to have the new pool open to the public next summer. People in Colton gathered for a tea party that doesn't actually serve tea.
Diane Hoven, the town's one-time mayor, has been hosting the party for the past 40 years. It's a timeless tradition that's become even more cherished with each year the generous tea party host continues to celebrate.
And every year I think, oh, I'm 92, so I think, oh, maybe I'll skip it this year. But I get a lot of help. Everybody pitches in.
Yesterday, she had 4 generations helping out, including her daughter, granddaughter, and great-grandsons who helped to serve the tea.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather forecast update today, 60s to start and 80s this afternoon. So it'll be a nice day to be outside and just typical for July, even in some cases still a little bit below average. But that's going to be coming to an end, it looks like. This heat is building in for next week. And so with that said, if we can pick up a shower or a thunder shower, that'd be kind of nice going into the hot weather. Those cells on radar will be probably few and far between, not to say they're non-existent, because even tomorrow, Sioux Falls runs about a 20% chance of rain. If you notice carefully right there, one or two of these little things can pop up. It's just not going to be widespread. So that's our story here. And then you can see our numbers in the afternoon tomorrow, even hotter into central South Dakota. This heat ridge is building. It's taking its time. It's not going to get here all at once. So give this a few days to kind of unpack the weather story. This is also the reason why we can still keep a little rain chance in the forecast. We've got a fairly strong or persistent jet stream pattern across most of the upper Midwest. And so you just, weave something subtle in there and you can generate a little rain here and there, but it's still not an overwhelming pattern. And then obviously next week as the heat dome gets closer to us, that amplifies the temperature. It goes well into the 90s, and there will be some 100s, I'm sure, in central South Dakota. That's a little more probable. And one other note of interest here on the forecast, as we deal with all this heat in the country next week, there will be some opportunities for nocturnal storms. And we're kind of in that mix of things. When you look at where this heat sits, there's at least a couple of times where the modeling tries to generate some storms here. A lot of it is at night, but keep that in mind too. I know our extended forecast doesn't really have a whole lot in it yet for rain, but those things can happen. I've seen that many times over the years as you'll get into some hot weather and then eventually you start getting some nocturnal storm chances. So we'll see where that leads us next week. Short-term forecast today, 87 degrees in Pierre, about 85 in Aberdeen. And then our 7-day forecast, we feel that the heat and the humidity will be the factors. So don't forget about that too. We haven't had dew points in the 70s very often in Sioux Falls, but that could easily change next week. And then that's why I think at night, if we end up getting some storm chances, those storms could get certainly a little stronger if that ends up happening. But at this point, we're just going to kind of leave that sit for now. Aberdeen in the 90s, that's pretty much the green light to go there as early as Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even for Pierre in central South Dakota, 100 is a possibility. It looks like the heat will be a little drier heat for western Ketherland. You've avoided hot weather most of the summer in Rapid, but that too will be changing. Find out more details on the forecast online at ketherland.com.